Hey, Busan is a port city that decided to also be an art project, a fruit capital, and a coastal drama all at once. 3 days is enough to get the shape of it, but only if you don't burn your best hours on the wrong neighborhood first. I mapped out the whole 3-day route in a template you can grab. Links in the pinned comment. Spring and autumn are the sweet spots here. The coastal light is absurd and the crowds haven't arrived yet, which is how Busan is best experienced. Day 1 is Busan at full volume, painted alleys, raw fish, and a sunset overlook that shows you exactly how sprawled this city is. Gamcheon Culture Village is a mountainside maze of candy-colored houses that started as a Korean War refugee camp. The backstory is heavier than the colors let on. Before 2009, this was just a slum. Then the government invited artists in, and within 6 years, it was pulling 1.4 million visitors a year. Get here by 9 steep alleys that force you single file are magical when empty and claustrophobic when tour buses arrive. The uphill walk from the bus stop is a genuine calf burner, but that's actually useful because the crowds thin out the higher you climb. Jagalchi is Korea's largest seafood market. You pick something still alive on the ground floor and eat it sashimi style upstairs 20 minutes later. The ajumma running your stall has been selling fish for decades, and she already knows what you're ordering before you do. Compare a couple of stalls before committing. Prices vary, and foreigners occasionally get quoted higher. Walking away is a perfectly normal negotiation tactic here. This is a real, functioning, wholesale market that happens to let visitors in, not a tourist reenactment. The harbor grit is genuine. Busan Tower sits on a hilltop in Yeongdusan Park and gives you a 360-degree read on the city, harbor, mountains, ocean, all at once. The escalator ride up through the hillside greenery is almost more memorable than the tower, a slow, open-air climb that feels mildly futuristic. Aim for sunset because the observation deck frames container ships and mountain ridges in the same golden glance, and the tower closes after dark. Yeongdusan means Dragon Head Hill. From up here you can see why, with the harbor spreading below like something the dragon was guarding. Day 2 is all coastline, a cliffside temple, Busan's most famous beach, and a sky capsule ride that sells out before breakfast. Nearly every major Korean temple sits on a mountaintop. Haedong Yonggungsa is one of the rare ones built on coastal cliffs with waves crashing below. Founded in the Goryeo era for fishermen praying for safe returns, the stone steps descend through incense smoke toward the sound of surf hitting rock. Arrive before 9 because the narrow paths bottleneck once tour buses show up. It's a 30-minute bus ride from Haeundae, so budget the travel. The setting is extraordinary even if the souvenir stalls near the entrance clash with the spiritual vibe. That tension is honestly part of the experience. Haeundae Beach is 1.5 kilometers of white sand backed by high-rise hotels. It's Busan's public face, for better and worse. Walk the full stretch and grab eomuk from beachfront carts. That steamed fish cake on a stick is Busan's leisure culture in edible form. In summer, reportedly one of the most densely packed beaches in Asia. Off-season, you can hear your own footsteps on the sand. Haeundae is the famous one, though locals will tell you Gwangalli has better night views, something to keep in mind for day 3. The Blueline Park sky capsules are vintage-style pods that crawl along the Haeundae coastline on elevated tracks, slow, private, and built for golden hour. This is the hardest booking on the trip. The official site often rejects foreign cards, and third-party resellers sometimes cancel when their allocation runs dry. The capsule's panoramic windows frame the coastline below, and it moves slowly enough that you actually absorb the view instead of reaching for your phone. If capsules sell out, the beach train covers the same stretch from ground level or walk the Mipo to Seongsabo coastal path. It's doable on foot. Day 3 goes to the edges. Wild cliffs at Busan's southern tip, then back for lit bridges, drone shows, and fried sugar to finish. Taejongdae is a rugged coastal park at the southern tip of Yeongdo Island, sea cliffs, a lighthouse, and on clear days a view of Tsushima, Japan. Named after a Silla king who supposedly practiced archery here, the scale surprises you. Expect a city park and get a proper coastal wilderness. Ride the Danube train around the circuit because the park is large, then walk to the lighthouse. Those cliff paths are windy year-round. The lighthouse horn sounding over crashing waves while pine trees bend inland, it's the one spot in Busan where the city feels genuinely far away. Gwangalli is Haeundae's rival with the Diamond Bridge, A lit suspension bridge reflected across the bay, and locals consistently prefer it for evenings. Every Saturday evening, hundreds of drones form shapes over the water. Korea's first permanent drone light show, free from the beach, bridge lit behind. Dusk turning purple behind the bridge, the drones swarm humming overhead, craft beer on a rooftop with the skyline blinking on, Busan at its most itself. The drone show is weather dependent, but even on a night without it, the bridge reflection across the bay is worth the detour. BIFF Square is a street food zone named after a film festival that left in 2012. The movies moved out, but the fried pancakes stayed. Ssiat hotteok is a crispy fried pancake stuffed with brown sugar, nuts, and seeds. You eat it standing up, burning your mouth, immediately ordering another. Actor handprints are still pressed into the pavement, but nobody comes for those. They come because this is Busan's street food ground zero. Bring cash, queue at the hotteok stalls near the theater entrance, and try dwaeji gupap pork soup with rice that deserves the same hype. Refugee painted alleys, live fish, an hour before lunch, cliffs looking toward Japan. Busan is a city that earns the return trip before you even left. The whole route's in an editable template with a map view, link in the pinned comment, so you can drag stops around to fit your trip. Let me know which Busan stop you'd add or skip, drop it in the comments.